welcome to Lemonade Yoga. I'm Sandy Till. Today, our class is going to be focused on strengthening exercises through our yoga practice. So, let's begin with our awareness to breath. I'm going to choose today to lean back on my hands. Leaning back a little bit like this can help your awareness to breath because it opens up your diaphragm. Here, the muscles underneath your rib cage that help your breathing. So I'm going to lean back and let's go for 6 breaths, feeling for what your breath's doing today. If you know Ujjayi and you'd like to layer that into your practice, I invite you to turn your Ujjayi breath on now. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe bring your gaze down and center, just to bring all of your attention to your breath. Feeling the air go in through your nose or your mouth, down your throat and into your lungs. And also on your exhale, feeling how does your body perform the exhale. So some of us sort of collapse our chest habitually. Some of us will do different things. So feeling here for maybe drawing your belly back on the end of your exhale like this. And then relaxing the belly and taking a full breath in. Just as a way to expand your breath and get a bigger breath. Now, if you're a beginner to yoga, the work is to coordinate your breath with your movement. So our breath is our base layer of awareness. This is the thing that we're bringing our most focus to. And then from there, our big focus is to stay out of a pain and out of a struggle. So if anything doesn't feel quite right for you today, then I invite you to either back way out of that and or not do it. We'll start our practice, our asana practice, which means our physical posture, in a seated side bend in butterfly shape. So that's going to be bringing the feet together in front of you, choosing feet far or feet close, what feels right in your body today. And then working on the left hand first, down, walking your hand out onto your fingertips, coordinating your inhale with lifting the right arm up, wrapping the top shoulder so that you have more spaciousness around the base of the neck. We'll hold this for 4 breaths, 4 big breaths. When you're working your side bend, you might feel for relaxing the neck like this or like this. If that doesn't feel good for you, then I invite you to keep your neck kind of in a neutral place. It's important that your neck isn't in pain while you do your practice. Coming out of the posture, inhale as you lift your arm up. And then walking your right hand out for your second side. If your low back is getting a little bit tender, you're welcome to lean up against a wall or a couch or bed or something like that. Second side, inhale the left arm up now. Wrap the top shoulder forward, rolling the shoulder girdle forward. And then reaching over, feeling as far as it feels good for you to come over. Allow your bottom shoulder to come down, away from the ear. Notice in this shape that your breath will probably come quite more easily to the open side. We're opening our spine bones here, warming up the shoulder girdle, warming up the hips and back. Releasing from the posture, I'll inhale as I lift up and exhale as I come out. Bring your legs forward and just move them around a little. Sitting like that for that long really will bring some heat into your hip joints, and that is the point. Next, we'll go for our easy abs with our up level being just with the knees up. So we'll start with easy abs, feet down, and then we'll move right into the harder version, because today we're working on strengthening. Clasp the hands behind the base of your skull, elbows pointing up, low back and low ribs gently pressing into the floor as a base engagement. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, curl up and bring your left knee over the hip. Relax the neck here. Inhale, place the foot down. Bring the head back to center. Exhale, going to the right. Notice I'm bringing both of my elbows equally towards my thigh. And I'm doing that so that I can engage the rectus abdominis muscle, which attaches from your lower ribs all the way down to your pubic bone. Inhale back and over. Now, if this feels like enough work for you today, then keep going that way. If you can up level and do a little bit of a harder version, then bring your knees up over the hips and allow your ankles to hang down. And then we'll layer here. Inhale and exhale to the left, straightening the right leg. Either straight up toward the ceiling or out at an angle that feels good in your body. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Really reach out through that leg. Don't have like a floppy leg. Reach through the leg and feel that engagement from the thigh into your core. Inhale, back to center. And over. Very repetitive here. Feel for getting completely empty on exhale and a full breath on inhale. And release. Abdominals are great for lots of things in your body, but we all know that it feels good to feel strong for your back. Now, the next thing we'll do is bridge. So if you like a block support for bridge, then have your block handy nearby you and feel for setting your body in your measurement. Fingertips down, heels graze your fingertips. Palms up, neck and shoulders soft and relaxed. Inhale. As you exhale, lengthen the tailbone and bring the hips off the floor. At the end of your exhale, just pause with the hips, and then on your inhale, feel for lengthening your ribs up toward your face. Try to keep your chin level with the floor. Exhale, lift higher if you can. Inhale, lengthen and upward and telescope your ribs towards your face. Now we'll hold here for about 10 breaths. So if your body is feeling a little bit tweaky or you have a pain response in like a knee or your low back, then grab your block, wherever it is, and feel for maybe lifting up onto your tippy toes like this so you can get the block higher, and then gently place it under your sacrum. Your sacrum is that square bone at the bottom of your, triangular bone at the bottom of your spine. Now, if you don't need the block, then don't use the block, because today we're working on strengthening, and I want you to feel for the amount of work that you can get just by holding the weight of your own body up. As you're here, feel for honing in to the way that your legs are working.
feel for being very connected through your feet, the whole base of your foot. I tend to lift my toe up because that's a training that I had in my initial yoga training, and so I lift my toes. But feel for doing that if you like it, and also just your entire foot onto the floor. And when you do that, you'll feel more of your leg muscles come online. A gentle inward squeeze through the thighs can sometimes really wake up muscles in your legs, so try that if you like. Now, as you stay in this shape, you may be able to go deeper, and in this shape, what that looks like is going higher. If you start shaking a little bit or something, that's okay. That means your muscles are working. Coming out of bridge pose, lengthen down slowly. So pull with your legs so that you're taking all weight and pressure out of your neck and upper back, and then bringing your upper back, mid back, low back, and finally your pelvis and hips at the end down onto the floor. Take a moment to notice what you've done and how that feels for you. And also notice the aliveness that happens, like your muscles wake up and they feel like buzzy or like blood flow in there. It's just so great. The next exercise I'll teach you is abs with a block. And this is a new one for us, but this is one of my favoriteest abdominal poses to teach. So taking a foam block or a rolled up mat or a rolled up towel, you want it to be wide enough so that when you squeeze it with your legs, you feel like you're wrapping around something. So like this is too narrow for me. Now this is good for me. This is too wide. So it's just finding the right width for your body. I know that this width is good for me because I've done this exercise a lot. So I'm going to place it on my body, and I invite you to bring this block down between your legs as close to your body as you're comfortable with, even touching your pubic bone if you want. I'm going to work this with the feet down today, and then the options here are to, when you get stronger, and if you feel strong today, you're welcome to do this with your feet up at 90 degrees or even straight up to the ceiling like this. So today I'll work with my feet down, but those are some variations that are available in this shape. You'll have your hands clasped up behind your head. And this one doesn't look like a lot, but it feels really good in the low back and hips. So you'll inhale and press the low ribs and pelvic crest down gently. As you exhale, squeeze the roll and curl your head up. And repeat. Inhale, release the squeeze and let your head come down. And repeat. Squeeze the roll as you curl up. What happens here with this exercise is there's a certain connection point that comes from the inner thighs up through your core and also to your shoulders and to your neck. So it's a nice engagement through this mid part of our bodies. Inhale, release. Let's go for 6 of these. So 4 more. Squeeze as you curl up. Squeeze the whole way up. Inhale, release the squeeze and let your pelvis relax. Inhale, release. And last one. Squeeze as you roll up. And coming down out of that, go ahead and take your block out of the way. And take a breath or two, feeling for what's changed in your body from that exercise.
We'll go for dolphin next. Dolphin posture is the shoulder strengthening exercise. So this one, it's an inversion because we're going upside down, putting our head low. And it's also great for strengthening the shoulders. So if you're working with an injury or you're new to yoga, then I invite you to take very little pressure in your shoulders with this. And if you're more advanced, then you're welcome to up level as you know how to. So starting here, come down here, with your elbows down and your fingertips clasping around your triceps. Your triceps are the muscle at the back of your upper arm. Have your wrists straight, so you have a good wide stance there. And then clasping your hands in front as a beginner and more advanced out straight. I'm going to choose clasp together. Now keep an eye on my upper back here. This is the key move for anything that's bearing weight in your shoulder. So I'm going to relax my head down. The work here is to inhale into the upper back. Lift the space between your shoulder blades up like that. And then on exhale, I'm pressing down through the elbows. Now what you'll see is my shoulders engage. And I'm also stacked here. So my shoulders are right over my elbows. And my neck is neutral here because I'm not actually balancing, so I don't need to lift my head and crank in those neck muscles. I can just focus on my arms. Now, if you're starting to learn how to bear weight here, then just lean your weight into your shoulders and keep them lifted. That's your work. And then go for 5 to 6 breaths there, or as many breaths as you can get without pain. If you don't have a pain response here and you're ready to really strengthen and work the upper back, then curl your toes under. Take a big breath in, always continuously lifting the upper back and neck. Not neck, upper back. On exhale, I'll lift the knees up off the floor. And then I'm going to bend the knees and reach the hips back. Relax the neck. Pull the belly in towards your spine. And then feel for what works best in your legs. You could reach your heels straight down towards the floor. And when you're flexible, that might work. You may also need to bend the knees and reach the hips back. So holding this posture for 10 breaths will really warm up your shoulders. So go for that. Big breath. Exhaling, draw the belly in towards the spine. Feel how that lifts your weight up and back. Notice your shoulders are starting to go like, wow, this is hard. So get even with what they're doing. Feel for honing into working evenly through your shoulder girdles. If you're struggling or clenching your teeth or cranking into your jaw, then you might need to down level and put your knees onto the floor. Get big breath here to support the work that you're doing. You can play with feet wide, legs closed. And easing down. Ooh, and slowly coming on up to seated. So that type of exercise is really uplifting. Almost everybody will come up smiling, which is cool. But it's also very good for warming up the shoulders and strengthening the shoulders too. All right. We'll go for eagle arms next. In eagle arms, it's a upper shoulders and mid-back stretch for a lot of people. Start with your arms in front of you, palms down. Inhale. As you exhale, crisscross one on top and then hook. If this is all you have, then your posture is going to be just to kind of pull that arm across your chest. If you're flexible and you want to go for the full bind, then you'll exhale, crisscross at the elbow, and then bring the hands up together, maybe clasping here at the fingertip or maybe palms together, just depending on what your physical body wants to do today. If you're in a full bind like this, give a breath. Use your exhale to draw the shoulder blades down. Take another breath. And coordinating your exhale with this move, reach the elbows forward and up. And you'll feel that there's a release and there's there's like spaciousness there when you move with warm muscles through an exhale. You'll get deeper and further into the shape. And gently unwinding the arms. Go ahead and take a moment to feel what you've done. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Going for the second side. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, crisscross the other arm on top. And again, if you're broad-shouldered and muscular, pinching might happen in the front of the shoulders with eagle arms, so just go for this stretch. This is great. If you want to do the full bind, again, go ahead and wrap your arms around each other. And feel for drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, making as much space as you can for the back of the neck. Exhale, reach the elbows forward and maybe up. When you go up, you start to get this stretch between your shoulders blades that's really nice. Let's get 2 breaths more here. And gently unwinding. Rolling the shoulders a little bit to feel what you've done. We'll move to downward facing dog. And I feel like maybe we have not done downward facing dog yet on this sort of class, but I'll show it to you. And it's another inversion, upside down pose, and it's a basic yoga posture. So if you haven't done it before, then feel for how this feels for you. Hands are going to be right under your shoulders and open your hand bones. You'll hear a lot of teachers say press between the thumb and forefinger to protect your wrist. I'm going to keep my neck soft and lift up between the shoulders again. Now, ideally, your tricep is pointing backward. We don't necessarily really want your elbow pointing out like this. That's not a great angle for your shoulder joint to be bearing weight. So as best you can, feel for bringing the triceps pointing back towards your feet. I'll take a breath in. And as I exhale, I'll lift the knees off the floor again. Coming into a triangle shape, bring the feet down and the head towards the ankles. Well, it's more your chest towards the ankles. Your head isn't going to really reach in that direction, but your neck can be soft and relaxed. Now today my heels are touching the floor, and that can vary for me. I have to work really hard here to keep my arms from flopping out to the sides, and that's okay. Feel for pressing away from the floor. Like if you could press the floor away from you, see how much lift I can get out of the shoulders and the elbows and the arms. Let's go for 4 breaths more here. If you're getting a pain response, bring your knees onto the floor and just practice bearing weight through the shoulders. Also in this shape, just like in dolphin, pull the belly back towards the spine to get some of the weight to move back and up and away so that the whole body is supporting you. It's not just that you're dumping your weight into your arms. And releasing down. Whew. Noticing what that's done. And then from here, we'll move into shoulder opener. This is also one of my very favorite poses. I know I have a lot of favorite poses. So we're going to stand up here. And ideally, you're doing this one up against a wall. In an ideal and perfect world, you'll be about your forearms distance away from the wall. We'll step forward into warrior one with the foot closest to the wall, stepping up. And then I'm going to step back to get into a good warrior one shape here. Now for this posture, take your outside hand to the chest across your body. Take an inhale, and with your exhale, reach the hand at the wall back, just as far as it feels good for you. From here, inhale into the hand that's touching your body. And use your exhale to twist away from the arm. So I'm twisting, but I'm leaving my shoulder and my neck perfectly still, and I'm focusing here right on the pec minor and pec major muscles. Do your best to keep your shoulders over your hips. Keeping your shoulder down away from the ear. And releasing from this, bring the back arm down and step forward. Now you'll notice a big difference in your body when you do that side, so it'll really release open. Second side here, bring the foot forward, step back to warrior one, hand on chest. Exhale, hand reaching back. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, twist away from the wall. For about 4 breaths here. And releasing the back hand down, step forward, and then we'll make our way down onto the floor. So it's kind of a quick sequence, resting pose for Shavasana. Now, if you don't feel ready to lay down, you can just sit and meditate for a few minutes. We have about 3 minutes. I invite you to stay longer if you can. When you're in Shavasana, I invite you to let your breath return to normal and just get comfortable in your body. If you're feeling very relaxed, I invite you to stay longer. If you're ready to end class with me, then gently move your toes and your fingers. Let's roll on over to one side. On our way up, for a breath or two. And coming all the way up to seated. We thank each other for our practice. I salute you.